Greetings! Mandatory79 here, and welcome back to another deck profile video for Cardfight Vanguard Deer Days! Alright then, let's get started. Pressing the A button now, loading game, and proceeding. Here we are in the main menu, heading over to the edit deck menu. And now in today's video, the deck profile I'm going to be doing one for is Keter Sanctuaries, Hexaorb Sorceress, D-BT01. Alright, let's get started. So going to edit deck, create new, going over to Keter Sanctuary. And now, as I just mentioned, the deck profile I'm making for today's video is Keter Sanctuaries, Hexaorb Sorceress, with a deck comprising only of cards available up until D-BT01. So let's get started. Go into Filter, Pack, D-BT01, Genesis of the 5 Greats, apply filter, and let's get started. So first, the right deck, grade 3, Hexaorb Sorceress. Her skills are, the first skill, Auto, as a Vanguard. When your drive check reveals a trigger unit, choose one of your rear guards and it gets plus 10,000 power until the end of the turn. And the second skill, Action, as a Vanguard, once per turn. If you Persona Ride this turn, Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1. If the cost is paid, you may reveal up to one critical trigger or one front trigger from your hand and put it on top of your deck. And this unit gets plus drive plus 1 until the end of the turn. So for Hexaorb Sorceress, she's the main grade 3 to run this deck. For her first skill, whenever you reveal a trigger unit, one rear guard in your field gets plus 10,000 power. So for this first skill, it works best if you can get a trigger during your drive checks. So not only can you get the normal effects from a trigger, but her own skill gives an additional 10,000 power to any rear guard. So making it a more or less an additional power boost from any trigger you get. Then the second skill of Sorceress, whenever you Persona Ride her, as long as you got a critical trigger or a front trigger in your hand, just by paying a mere cost of Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1, you can put it in the top of your deck and your Vanguard gets triple drive. So for Hexaorb, this second skill more or less works well with the first skill, since the second skill more or less guarantees you a trigger on the top of your deck, and then it can also activate the first skill whenever you get a trigger unit. So for Hexaorb Sorceress, she focuses on getting and stacking triggers, so that's the main card of this deck. For her, we're playing 4 and putting 1 in the right deck. Next, the grade 3 Knight of War Damage, Pasado. His skills are, first skill, Continuous as a rear guard. This unit cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects. And the second skill, Pasado, Auto, as a rear guard. When this unit attack hits, you can counter charge 1 and soul charge 1. So this is a pretty basic but pretty helpful card for the Keter Sanctuary decks. For the first skill, it cannot be chosen by any opponent card effects, making it sort of like a resist effect that protects it from getting retired, locked, bound, or returned to hand, or any skills that your opponent can use to clear out your rear guards. Pasado can protect against it. And the second skill, Pasado, just by landing an attack on either an opponent's Vanguard or rear guard, you can counter charge 1, soul charge 1, thus refunding your counter blast and also getting more cards to soul blast with. So for Pasado, we're playing 4 of him. Then up next, the grade 3 Divine Sister, Lepisto. Her skill is Auto as a rear guard. When your drive check reveals a trigger unit, Counterblast 2, restand this unit, and it gets plus 5,000 power until the end of the turn. So for Lepisto, she's a good support card for the Hexaorb Sorceress deck, since whenever you reveal a trigger, as long as you don't mind paying a Counterblast of 2, Lepisto can restand again, and with a little extra power, which works well with Hexaorb, which lets you stack a trigger on top of your deck. So for Lepisto, she can attack twice in a turn as long as you get a trigger, making her a good card to use in your Hexaorb Sorceress decks. So for her, we're playing 4. Next up, the grade 2 lineup. The right deck, grade 2, Pentagleam Sorceress. Her skills are, the first skill, Auto. When written on top of by Hexaorb Sorceress, look at the top 3 cards of your deck and put them in any order on top of your deck. And the second skill, Auto, when placed on the rear guard circle, look at the top card of your deck and put it on the top or bottom of your deck. If put on the bottom of your deck, this unit gets plus 2,000 power until the end of the turn. So for Pentagleam Sorceress, she's the main grade 2 to run this deck. For her first skill, when it's time to write Hexaorb on top of her, you can more or less rearrange the top 3 cards of your deck, thus guaranteeing you a trigger at the first or second checks, or at least knowing what cards you'll get in your next drive checks. And the second skill, just by calling her to the rear guard, you can more or less place the top card of your deck on the top or bottom, thus making it more likely for you to get a trigger, or in the event that you get no triggers, if you choose to put the card on the bottom of the deck instead, Pentagleam can serve as a 12,000 point attacker by herself. So for Pentagleam, you're playing 4 of her and then putting 1 in the right deck. Now for the Great One lineup, for the Great Ones of this deck, we're playing right deck, Great One, Tier Square Sorceress. Her skills are, first skill, auto. When this unit is ridden on top of by Pentagleam Sorceress, cost, counterblast 1. If the cost isn't paid, draw a card. And the second skill, auto, as a rear guard, once per turn. When your drive check reveals a trigger unit, counterblast 1. If the cost isn't paid, choose one of your opponent's front row rear guards and put it in the bottom of their deck. So for Tier Square, she's the main Great One to ride this deck. For skills, the first skill, when you ride Pentagleam Sorceress on top of her, as long as you don't mind paying a counterblast of 1, you draw a card. So then the second skill, whenever you reveal a drive check, a trigger unit, while times Tier Square is in your rear guard, as long as you don't mind paying a counterblast of 1, you can clear away one of your opponent's rear guards in the front row by setting it to the bottom of the deck. So Tier Square more or less works well as a Vanguard or rear guard. For her, we're going to be playing 1 and placing it in the right deck. Then next up, the Great One, Painkiller Angel. Her skill is auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. Soul Blast 1 and retire this unit. If the cost isn't paid, draw a card. So for Painkiller Angel, she's a pretty useful support card for the Keter Sanctuary decks, since her skill can be used in any situation during your turn. Just by boosting an attack, as long as you don't mind paying a Soul Blast and retreating her from your rear guard, you can draw a card, thus increasing your hand size. For Painkiller Angel, we're going to be playing 3 of her. Next up, the Great One, Divine Sister, Tartine. Her skill is auto. When placed on the rear guard circle, Soul Blast 1 and rest this card. If the cost isn't paid, look at the top 2 cards of your deck and choose 1 card from among them, put it in the top of your deck, put the rest in your bottom. So for Tartine, her skill is more or less like Pentagleam's skill. Just by calling her and paying her cost, you can more or less look at the top 2 cards of your deck, choose 1 to put on top and put 1 on the bottom, so increasing your chances of getting a trigger and setting a normal unit you normally don't want to get in a drive check to the bottom of your deck. So for Tartine, we're playing 4 of her. Next, the Great One, Divine Sister, Fasciata. Her skill is auto as a rear guard once per turn. Whenever your drive check reveals a trigger unit, Soul Blast 2. If the cost isn't paid, countercharge 1. So Fasciata, she's another support card for the Hexaorb deck. Just by revealing a trigger unit, as long as you don't mind paying the cost of Soul Blast 2, Fasciata lets you refund your counterblast by countercharging 1. So for her, Fasciata, we're playing 2 of her. Next, the Great One, Knight of Heavenly Wind, Vackle. Her skill is auto as a rear guard. When this unit boosts, this unit gets plus 2,000 power until the end of the turn. So for Vackle, she's a basic card for the Keter Sanctuary decks. For her skill, just by boosting from the back row, she can serve as a 10,000 power booster from the back row. So for Vackle, we're playing 3 of her. And next up, the Great One, Aegismere Dragon, Sentinel, Perfect Guard. Her skills are, the first skill, Continuous. Sentinel, you may only have up to 4 cards of Sentinel in your deck. And the second skill, Auto. When this unit is put in the Guardian Circle, choose one of your units and it cannot be hit until the end of that battle. If your hand has 2 more cards, choose a card from your hand and discard it. So for Aegismere, it's like any other Perfect Guard in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game. Just by guarding with it and discarding 1 card from your hand, you can completely block 1 enemy attack. But he also features another ability unique to the D standard format Perfect Guards. When guarded with, if you have 1 or less cards in hand, Aegismere won't ask you to discard a card from your hand to pay for the Perfect Guard cost. So in desperate last resort situations, Aegismere can serve as a no-cost Perfect Guard, making it a very useful card to have in the long term. So for Aegismere Dragon, we're playing 4 of him. Now for the Great Zero lineup. The Great Zero, Tri-Connect Sorceress, starting unit, right deck. Auto, when this unit is written on top of, if you went second, draw a card. So for Tri-Connect, she's the starting unit of this deck. just by riding on top of her. If you went second, you draw a card. So for Try Connect, we're playing 1 and putting it in the right deck. Now for the trigger lineup. For the trigger line of this deck, we're playing the Great Zero, White Fang Witch, Disma, critical trigger. We're playing 4 of her. Then we just unfilter, then go to Rarity, Starter Deck, ST, apply filter. Taking another critical trigger from the SD, the Great Zero, Knight of Heavenly Hammer, Gurgit, critical trigger. We're playing 2 of him. Then once again, reapplying filter, removing Rarity SD filter, and going back to only showing cards from D-BT01, Genesis of the 5 Greats, apply filter. Going back to trigger lineup. Next, we're playing the Great Zero, White Crow Sorcerer, Taxis, front trigger. We're playing 2 of him. Then the Great Zero, Exalting Knight, E3, draw trigger. We're playing 3 of her. Then the Great Zero, Circulating Sorceress, heal trigger. We're playing 4 of her. And last but not least, the Great Zero, Light Dragon Deed of Honors, Amartinia, over trigger. His skill is additional effect until the end of your turn. You also perform drive checks for the battles for your rearguard attacks. So for Amartinia, he's like any other over trigger in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game. Just by revealing it in a drive check or damage check, you get 100 million power and draw a card. But he also features a skill unique to him alone. When revealed during a drive check on your turn, until the end of that turn, your rear guards can also perform drive checks, thus allowing you to not only increase your chances of getting a trigger, but also to restock your hand, making Amartinia a good over trigger for the Keter Sanctuary decks. So playing 1, and there we go, we're all finished here. So now pressing start, save deck, and after having just explained the card effects and building the deck build, so here is the deck build for this deck profile video. For this deck, we're playing 4 Grade 3 Hexaorb Sorceress, 4 Grade 3 Knight of War Damage Pasado, 4 Grade 3 Divine Sister Lapiso, 4 Grade 2 Pentagleam Sorceress, 3 Grade 1 Painkiller Angel, 4 Grade 1 Divine Sister Tartine, 2 Grade 1 Divine Sister Fasciata, 4 Grade 1 Aegismere Dragon, 3 Grade 1 Knight of Heavenly Wind Vackle, starting unit Grade 0, Grade 1 Tier Square Sorceress, sorry about that. Then starting unit Grade 0 Try Connect Sorceress. Then we're playing 6 critical triggers, 2 front triggers, 3 draw triggers, 4 heal triggers, and finally 1 over trigger Amartinia. Alright, now after having just explained the deck's build and card effects, let's get on to testing out this deck. But before we test it out, let's just rename this deck. So change deck name, rename it Hexaorb. Hexaorb, okay. Save. And now we just change the deck's card sleeves, change sleeves. For the card sleeves, this deck we're playing, let's see, what to use. Alright, we're playing the, Keter Sanctuary sleeves, the main deck sleeve, press A. And then for the right deck sleeves, we're playing, I guess for the right deck sleeve, I'll just use this gold colored circle, press Y, and now, okay, so the deck built, Card effects explained, deck renamed, and card sleeves changed. Let's get on testing out the deck. Back to main menu. Now to fight menu. CPU fight. Let's choose an opponent. First we choose our decks, choosing the newly built Hexaorb deck. I guess for this deck I'll fight against Tomari Seto. Normal difficulty. And now the match begins. Let's get started. Now we decide who goes first. So rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Paper, and then scissors, scissors. So paper, again, and paper. And then rock, rock. Ah, seriously? Scissors, rock. Okay, I lose, going second. Drawing the starting hands. I'm going to send, let's see, Pasado and a critical. Nope, holding on to a, nope, putting a critical back. Okay, I drew the Persona Ride material. So my opponent's turn, she rides the Great One, Kanak Blue. Skill, adding Prison to hand. Galactolus. She activates the skill, setting it to the order zone and soul charging 3 cards. The cards in her soul are... Hold on, let's check the field. 2 over to my opponent's field. Soul, yes, her over trigger and 1 draw trigger out of the deck. Okay, back to my field. I'm gonna write Hexaorb Sorceress from the right deck. For the hand cost, I'm discarding 1 draw trigger. Right. Base skill, I draw a card. Okay, then I call Painkiller Angel. And Knight of Heavenly Wind Vackle. Beginning battle phase. Vackle attacks the Vanguard. Okay, the attack goes through. Damage check. No trigger, alright, safe. 1 more attack on the way. Sorceress boosted by Painkiller attacks the Vanguard. Okay, attack goes through, drive check, no trigger. And another damage. Damage check. Draw trigger, ah no! She draws a card, okay. Then Painkiller skill, I Soul Blast 1. Retire herself and draw a card. I drew Grade 3, Lapisto, okay. My opponent's turn, she rides Blizzard Pink. With Pink skill, I place a card in my hand, the order zone, okay. I place Lapisto. She calls the rear guard. Vanguard to Vanguard. No guard. Drive check, she gets. Ah, no! Critical trigger, seriously? So I get 2 damage, okay. Ow! Damage check first, no trigger. And second check. Critical trigger, alright! I give all effects to my Vanguard. All effects added. My opponent attacks the Vanguard. I guard a draw trigger, 23k in total. Guard. And attack blocks, okay. My turn, stand and draw. Okay, I'm gonna ride from the right deck. Pentagleam Sorceress. I discard Tartine from the hand as the right deck cost. Pentagleam. I'm going to activate Hexaorb Sorceress' skill. I counter blast 1, draw a card. Draw. Next up, I activate the Prison skill. I'm going to Soul Blast 1. I Soul Blast Hexaorb Sorceress. I Superior Call from the Order Zone, Divine Sister, Lapisto. I call it over here. Rearranging them. And okay, beginning battle phase. My Vanguard attacks the Vanguard. Drive check. No trigger. 1 damage to my opponent. It's a
ダメージチェック
grade 2. Alright. Now Lapisto boosted by Vackle attacks the Vanguard. Another extra 2,000 power. Total 23,000 power.
パワープラス
Here, she guards. 25,000. The attack is blocked. Alright, that's the end of my turn.
私のターン
My opponent now rides their grade 3.
直行戦
Seraph Snow.
ホワイトにライド
Activating her Vanguard skill, imprisoning all of my rear guards.
監獄に収容
Okay,
ヴァンガ
battle
ード
phase, Vanguard to Vanguard. No guard, take the hit.
ノーガードドライブチェックヒールトリガー
Heal trigger. No, she can't heal damage. And power to rear guard, okay.
ド
Second
ライブチェッ
check.
ク
No trigger, okay, we're safe. 1 damage to me.
いくにゃ
And chain down. Ow, that hurts. Damage
ーダメ
check.
ージチェック
Critical trigger. All effects to the Vanguard.
クリティカルプラスパワープラス
Alright. And now
ヴァンガードにアタック
Vanguard to Vanguard. I guard with. I guess I'll guard with Circulating Sorceress. 25, 15k, 35 in total. Guard.
ガード
Okay, my turn now.
ターン
I
エンド
stand and draw. I'm gonna ride from my right deck, Hexaorb Sorceress. I discard Hexaorb as the right deck cost.
私の力
Right.
見せてあげるライド
Pentagleam skill. I look at the top 3 cards on my deck and rearrange them. Okay, I'm going to put White Fang Witch and Vackle and then Lapisto in this order. Next up, I activate the Prison skill. I Soul Blast 1 card
スキル
and
発動
Superior Call 1 rear guard. I Superior Call Lapisto to the rear guard.
スペリオルコール
Alright, now we begin the battle phase. First off, Lapisto attacks the Vanguard for... No, wait, attacking the... Yep, attacking the Vanguard for 13k.
ノーガ
The
ー
attack goes through.
ドダメージチェック
Damage check. No trigger. Alright, safe and a perfect guard. Now my Vanguard attacks the Vanguard. Twin drive, first check. Critical trigger. Alright. Let's see. Give the critical to my Vanguard and power to Lapisto.
クリティカルプラスパワープラス
Then Hexaorb skill. 2,000 power to my rear guard,
パ
Lapisto.
ワープラス
Then activate Lapisto's skill. I counterblast 2 cards.
スキル発動
Restand her.
パワープラス
Another 5,000 power.
ドライブチェック
Second check. No trigger.
これが私の
Here it comes. 2 damage. Damage check
Damage
first. Critical trigger. No.
クリティカルプラス
Power add to Vanguard. Okay. Then
ダメージチェック
no trigger. Okay. Then the rear guard skill is it can boost. So I'll attack the rear guard. Trace
リアガード
June.
にアタックノーガード
Okay. Attack goes through. 1 rear guard down. End of
ターン
turn.
エンド私のターンドロー
No, she persona rides, adding more power and drawing a card.
冷たい檻の中へようこそ
Vanguard skill, imprison my rear guard again.
コール
She calls the rear guard, calling.
ヴァンガード
Battle
にアタック
phase, okay. No guard, take the hit.
ノーガードドライブチェック
First check, no trigger. And the second check, no trigger. Alright, I'm safe. Here it comes.
これが瀬戸様になった魂
1 damage. And chain down again. Ow, that hurts.
ダメー
Damage
ジチ
check,
ェック
no trigger. Okay,
ターンエンド
now it's my turn. Stand and draw. Okay. I Persona Ride Hexaorb Sorceress.
ペルソナライド
Persona Ride. I draw a card and activate Hexaorb skill. I counterblast 1, soul blast 1. I stack a critical or front onto my top of deck. I place 1 critical on the top of my deck. And then I call Vackle
コール
and Tartine to the front row.
コー
Now beginning battle phase, my Vanguard attacks the
ル
Vanguard.
ヴァンガードにアタック
He perfect guards, okay.
スキル発動
Discard it.
完全ガードドライブチェック
Right check, first check, critical trigger. I give all effects to Tartine.
クリティカルプラスパワープラス
Then activate Hexaorb skill. Another 10,000 power to the rear guard. Tartine.
パワープラス
Second
ド
check.
ライブチェックよし
Yeah, heal trigger. Alright. I cannot heal, but I'll give all effects to Vackle.
パワープラス
Then skill.
スキル発動
Another 10,000 power to
パワー
Tartine.
プラスドライ
Third
ブチェッ
check.
ク
No trigger. Attack blocked. Now Tartine attacks the Vanguard, 48,000 power. Ah no, another perfect guard.
スキル発動完全ガード
Okay, the attack is blocked. Now Vackle attacks the Vanguard, 28,000 power. Double guard, okay.
ガード
So that's the end of my turn.
ターンエンド私のターンドロー
My opponent, she Persona Rides. She had another one. Skill to imprison all my rear guards.
開幕開幕監獄に収容
Next she calls. Okay,
ヴァンガードにアタック
Vanguard to Vanguard. I perfect guard with Aegismere Dragon. Aegismere skill. I guard and discard a heal trigger from my hand.
完全ガードドライブチェック
First check, no trigger. Okay.
ドライブ
Second
チェッ
check,
ク
no trigger. Yes, 2 prisons. They cannot guard those. Third check, no trigger. All right, we're safe. Attack from the rear
ヴァンガ
guard.
ードにアタック
Alrighty then, I'm not gonna guard that one. No guard.
スキル発動
She adds more power.
パワープラス
No guard. Take the attack.
ノーガード
Ow. Damage check. No trigger. Alrighty, it's my turn. I stand and drop.
ドロー
Alright. Skipping right phase, going to battle phase. I activate the prison skill, counterblast 1.
スキル発動
Superior call 2 cards from my order from your order zone. I'm calling Lapisto and Vackle to the rear guard. Call.
ステリオルコール
Next, I'm calling Fasciata to the rear guard.
コール
And then I'm also calling Tartine to the rear guard.
コール
And now, okay, beginning battle phase. Vanguard to Vanguard.
ヴァンガードにアタッ
She guards a 15k shield, 2 to pass, okay.
クドライ
Twin
ブチェ
drive,
ック
first check. No trigger.
ド
Second
ライブチェッ
check. No trigger. Ah, okay. Attack blocked. Next, boosted by Vackle. Lapisto
ク
attacks the Vanguard. Skill plus another 2,000 power.
スキル発動パワープラス
She guards 15k shield, okay.
ガード
Now, attacking the Twisting Boldo, 16k.
ノーガード
One rear guard down. And now, that's the end of my turn.
ターンエンド私のターンドロー
Activating Vanguard skill, robbing me of another 2 rear guards. What's she using?
監獄に収容
Okay.
コール
She calls it Grade 2. Okay.
ヴァンガードに
Vanguard to Vanguard. I perfect guard with Aegismere Dragon. I discard from my hand. Let's see, I'll discard Painkiller Angel.
完全ガードドライブチェック
First check.
クリティカル
Critical trigger. Oh no! Adding power to rear guard.
パワープラス
Second check.
ドライブチェック
No trigger. Okay. And the third card is no trigger. All right. Grade 3. Attack blocks. Another attack from the Vanguard. Okay. Then I guard with 2 critical triggers. 43k. Attack blocked.
ガード
Alrighty, we're done. Then my turn. I stand and drop. Alright, then I'm not gonna ride. I'm going to call. Let's see. I call Pentagleam Sorceress to the rear guard. Pentagleam skill. I look at the top 2 cards of my deck. No, I look at the top card. Aegis Mare Dragon. I'm putting it to the bottom.
パワープラス
And now, okay, beginning battle phase. My Vanguard attacks the Vanguard. She guards. 2 cards to pass.
ガードドライ
Twin
ブチェッ
drive,
ク
foot check,
フロントトリ
foot
ガー
trigger. Alright. Power to
パワ
foot roll.
ープラス
And I give the extra 10,000 power to Lapisto.
パワープラス
Second check.
ドライブチェック
Critical trigger. Alright. I give all effects to
クリ
Lapisto.
スタルプラスパワープラス
Then Hexaorb skill.
スキル発動
I give 10,000 power to
パワープ
Pentagleam.
ラス
The attack doesn't go through. Next, my Lapisto attacks the Vanguard. 43,000 power, 2 critical. Yes, the attack goes through. 2 damage.
ダ
First
メージ
check.
チェック
No trigger. 6 damage. I win. Phew,
私
that
の
was
勝ちね
tough.
やった
Winner me and results. I got win, double trigger, attack with 40,000 or more power, perfect guard, 3 draws in a row, did a persona ride, 10 turns pass, did a superior call, retired 5 or more opposing units, drew 3 times in 1 turn, I got 2,500 BP, total 22,900 BP, not bad, press A to go next. Okay, we're done testing out the deck.
どのフ
Let's
ァイ
get
ター
on
に
back
ど
to
の
the
デッキ
main
にする
menu
どのファ
and
イトに
the
する
then let's head on back to the edit deck menu.
どのデッキを見る
And now I've pretty much finished explaining the deck's build, card effects, and finished testing out the deck. So with that, that's all the time we have for today. So first off, I want to say thank you to the viewers watching today's video, and to please stay tuned for more videos I plan to upload again in the near future. I also hope you all show support by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my videos and channel. And with that, I say goodbye and see you all soon.